My name is Samal Saji, A2BC 109. I'm talking about role of individual in preventing pollution, flood, earthquakes, and cyclones and landslides. Role of individual in preventing flood. Plant more trees as it holds the soil during rains. Introduce better food warming systems. Educate people about the flood prone areas. Modify homes and business to help withstand floods, construct buildings above flood levels, tackle climate change, educate people about climate change, increasing sending and flood defenses, protect wetlands, and introduce plant trees strategically. Restore rivers, the natural natural courses. Let's talking about role of individual in preventing cyclones. The method is wear strong shoes and tough clothing for protection. Lock doors, turn off your power, gas, and water. Take your evacuation and emergency kits. It evacuating inland out of town. Take pets and leave early to avoid heavy traffic, flooding, and wind hazards. The key to cyclone prevention in calm is regular maintenance. Maintenance is sounds like an expense, but it is much more than that. You will be actively make an investment in your property and your family's safety. Planting trees to prevent cyclone damage. This reduces the frontal gas damage by deflecting and reducing wind. Planting trees is much more than you will be actively making an investment in your property and your family's more safely. Reduce the height of taller trees. A group of trees and tall shrubs together of equal height can divert wind through funneling. This reduces the pressure of on your trees and moves the wind away from your home. Cutting back the inner canopy. Most trees branch break or ender trees fall over due to wind catching the lips of a tree like the sail on a boat. Cutting back the inner canopy allows the wind to move through the tree freely without damage to the tree or your home. When a tree branch twists, it becomes fragile. Cutting back longer branches prevents twisting and maintains the tree's health for a substantially longer life. Removal of nuts, coconuts, berries, and excess from palm trees before the wet season. Removal of dying and diseased species locating both and external. Let's talking about role of individual in preventing earthquake. Mitigating measures can include firmly securing large items of furniture such as bookcases and large cabinets, TV and computer screens that may otherwise fall over in the earthquake. Likewise, avoiding storing items above beds or sofas reduces the chance of objects falling on individuals. Preparedness can consist of survival measures, preparation that will improve survival in the event of an earthquake, or mitigating measures that seek to minimize the effect on earthquake. Common survival measures include storing food and water for an emergency and educating individuals what to do during an earthquake. Mitigating measures can include firmly securing large items of furniture such as bookcases and large cabinets, TV and computer screens that may otherwise fall off fall over in an earthquake. Likewise, avoiding storing items above beds or sofas reduce chance. The roles of individual in preventing of pollution. This is a main point to avoid the pollution. Environmental protection has been burning issue in last half century. In order to tackle the menace of pollution, urgent steps have to be taken at only global century. Individuals would wastage of resources such as electricity. Every unit of electricity saved as equivalent produce saves the fuel that would be used to produce the electricity, but also helps to prevent the pollution is accompanied by burning of fuel. Therefore, persons should always switch off appliances when not in use. Individuals should prefer walking or use cycles instead of using motor vehicles, especially when distances to be traveled are small. Individuals can make considerable contribution by use mass transport, buses, trains, etc. instead of using personal vehicles. When going to workplace, colleges from nearby localities should pool vehicles instead of going individual personal vehicles. Taking in personal vehicles for periodic pollution checks at center approved by authorities. Individual individuals should reuse the items whenever possible. Roles of individual in preventing landslides. Slope vegetation. One of the quickest and easiest ways to prevent a landslide on a slope is to vegetate it. The landslide prevention method works best on the slopes of that are not too steep or if the movement has not already begun. You can do this method yourself by planting a ground cover or hire a landscaper to vegetate the slope. Retaining walls. A solid, well-designed retaining should be made of sturdy materials such as masonry, brick, stone, or steel. Drainage materials behind the wall help increase the stability of the wall. Diverting debris pathways. Building pathways to divert debris is another option to prevent landslides on your property. You can create these pathways with the help of retaining walls. However, if you build walls to divert debris flow and then that flow lands on a neighbor's property, you can be liable for damage. Temporary prevention. For temporary landslide prevention, sandbags can be used to divert water from uncontrolled buildings such as retaining walls or diverted pathways to another method is protect unstable areas. Plastic sheeting overlap, especially in areas without the of recent vegetation recent of recent fires. Thank you.